In what has been called a case the entire country is watching, sugar farmers and refiners have sued the agribusiness giants Archer Daniels Midland, Cargill, and other processors of high fructose corn syrup and their trade association in federal court. The defendants are accused of sponsoring a more than $50 million false advertising campaign that claims there is no difference between natural sugar and man-made high fructose corn syrup.
Whether it's corn sugar or cane sugar, your body can't tell the difference. Sugar is sugar.
We think it's important to reinforce the fact that sugar, whether it comes from cane, beet, or corn, are all the same.
But sugar farmers say that just is not true.
We grow both sugar beets and corn on our farm. We don't confuse the two crops. I cut this sugar beet open. It has sugar in it. It's natural. I can cut this corn open and you won't see the high fructose corn syrup. This is high fructose corn syrup. It's man-made. It's not the same as sugar.
An increasing number of scientists are on record stating that the differences between sugar, technically called sucrose, and high fructose corn syrup, HFCS, are biologically meaningful.
HFCS is different from sucrose in many ways. The finding that the fructose to glucose ratio of the HFCS used in the beverages was nearly always higher than 55% can have important implications for metabolic health. HFCS is more likely to cause acute adverse effects than sucrose. The present study suggests that HFCS and sucrose can have different effects on body weight and obesogenic measures. In our study, rats drinking HFCS 55 but not sucrose solution had a greater fat mass. Rats with HFCS access gain more weight than sucrose-consuming rats even when ingesting fewer calories. There is experimental and clinical evidence suggesting a progressive association between HFCS consumption, obesity, and other injury processes.
The challenged ad campaign also has upset consumers, who say it makes their shopping more difficult.
I get confused by the advertising because it's basically saying that the high fructose corn syrup is the same as sugar. So that's just very misleading and troubling.
What I'm looking for when I'm shopping at a grocery store is something natural. And rail sugar is natural, so I like that, and high fructose corn syrup is not.
Meanwhile, the agribusiness giants, Archer Daniels Midland, Cargill, and others, accused of conspiring to create and control the false advertising campaign, are seeking to escape liability for their misconduct by claiming that their trade association acted on its own, outraging attorney Mark Lanier.
What you see at first blush is not always the entire picture. Here we have 5 companies that have joined together and put a front in between them and the public, so that people don't realize who the puppet master is pulling the strings behind these false advertisements. We want to tear down the curtain, and we want to show who the real people are that are doing this fraud.
Judge Consuelo Marshall already has ruled that the Coalition of American Sugar Farmers and Producers has provided sufficient evidence to demonstrate a reasonable probability of success in proving that the challenged advertising campaign is false.